Hello class, this is a champion. For today's lesson, we'll be looking at Internet and World Wide Web. Last week, we learned about copyright infringement, and the reason for copyright protection. We saw that copyright is a legal right given to inventors for their creation or for their invention. We also saw that copyright infringement is when someone uses other person's product or invention without seeking permission from the owner or the creator. We also saw that when someone infringes upon the copyright law, that person is either imprisoned or made to pay some money. For today, we'll be looking at Internet and World Wide Web. So we start with the Internet. When you say Internet is a collection of interconnected computers linked together to share information. When computers are linked to each other, it forms a network. The Internet is also known as net. So when you talk of Internet, it's a global connection of computers. We have computers linked to each other, and they are made in such a way that information can be transferred from one device to the other, or information can be shared between these devices linked around the globe. Now, when these devices are being linked together, they form what we call a network. So when you hear of a network is just a connection of computers, or a computer and another device, in order to share resources like sharing of files in the form of music, documents, and so on. Now we look at how a computer network is formed. We can see in our diagram we have several laptops, which are also computers linked to each other. So when you have a computer linked to another computer, it's termed as a network. Either a computer linked to a computer, or a computer linked to another device. It can be a printer, a mobile phone, a scanner. It also forms a network. So when you have a connection of these computers and devices connecting each other around the world or the globe, it's referred to as Internet. And as I said earlier, this is formed in order to share information from one device to the other. Now let's look at ways of connecting computers. In our early picture, we saw that we have several laptops being linked to each other. So we are going to look at the ways in which these devices are being connected to each other around the world. That forms a network of Internet. Now let's look at what we have over here. We have a wireless connection. When you say a wireless connection, we are referring to the use of wireless technologies in connecting computers. And when you say wireless technology, we are referring to technologies as the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, infrared, edge, and the rest. These techniques are being used to connect computers without the use of cords or cables. So we can connect computers in our homes, at offices, workplaces, schools, using these technologies. It doesn't mean that we should get a cord or a cable to link these devices. We can have these technologies whereby we have devices at separate areas linking to each other. Now let's go to this page and look at how computers or devices are being linked using the wireless technology. As we can see over here, we have a wireless router in the middle. Then we have some devices surrounding it. All these devices are being linked to the router, but as we can see, there are no cables or wires connecting these devices to the router. So this form of network was being done by using wireless technology. We can see that we have some signals over here showing us the wireless signals, and this connects each of the device to the router, which you can see in the middle of the diagram. Now let's move on to the other way of connecting computers. We have the cable connection or the wired connection, and this involves the use of cables or wires to connect computers. So this is a way of connecting computers to form a network by the use of cables or cord. So an example is connecting a mobile phone to a computer by the use of a USB cable. And the USB cable is the normal cable that we put in adapters to charge our mobile phones. These cables can also be used to connect a computer to a laptop in order to transfer files or have access to the internet. Now we have a diagram here showing us how cables or wires are being used to connect computers or devices to a computer. So as you can see over here, again we have a network over here, an IP address. Then we have other devices linking to this device, that's the router. So we can see a computer having a cable or a wire connecting to the router. We have a laptop doing the same using a cable, a printer using a cable to connect to that device. Then we have a PlayStation also using a cable to connect to the router. Then we have a smartphone with a cable connecting to the device. Then another PC over here having a cable connection. So with this cable connection, we also have a network because all the devices are being linked to one particular device. Now let's go to the types of network. The types of network comes based on the area in which the devices are being connected to each other. So depending on the geographical area covered by a network, we have the following types of networks. The first one is the local area network, that's the LAN. And this type of network is the one that connects computers within a limited area such as schools, residents, universities, office buildings, and so on. Then we have the second one to be wide area network. When you say a wide area network, we are referring to a network that consists of two or more local area network, or it's a network that covers a large geographical area such as a country or a continent. Now we have the wireless local area network. So as the name appears, it's making use of wireless technology. So this is also a form of a computer network that links two or more devices using wireless communication to form a local area network. And the next one we have metropolitan area network, and this is a large computer network usually expands a city or a large campus. So as the name appears, we have metropolitan, and that shows that it consists of a large area. So we have these forms of computer networks. Then we have the personal area network, and as the name suggests, it's a network that has been formed around an individual. We can have it in the personal room as we connect our computers to other devices to share files. So this is a network that is used for communicating among computers and a computer device around a few meters within a room. We have other forms of computer networks, which for today we will not talk about them, but in our next lesson we will see to what they mean or how they are being formed. So for other computer networks, we have the campus area network, CAN. Then we have the storage area network, SAN. Then we have the system area network, that's SAN. Then we have the enterprise private network, that is EPN. Then virtual private network, VPN. We have the passive optical local area network, PULAN. Then we have botnet, intranet, extranet, and so on. Let's look at these important terms over here in networking. In computer network, when a computer has other computers connecting to it, that computer is referred to as a server. The name of that computer is called a server. So when you talk of a server is a computer or a device that provides data to other computers in a network, meaning that's the main computer whereby other computers are being connected to in order to share information or files. Then we have the second one to be clients. When you talk of clients, we are referring to the computers that are being linked to a server. So this is a computer hardware or a software that accesses a service made available by a server. Or we can also say that a client is a computer or a device connected to a server. Let's look at the diagram over here. So as you can see in the diagram, we have a main computer in the middle. Then we have other computers surrounding this main computer. And as we can see, each of these computers is being connected to the main computer, either by the use of cables or the wireless technology. So for this, the main one in the middle is what we refer to as a server. That is the main computer that the other computers are being connected to. And the surrounding computers are what we refer to as clients. They are the computers that are being connected to the server. And all these computers get their information from this server. We'll end here for today and continue next week, Monday. But before we leave, we'll look at the following questions. You answer them and upload them on your website. The first question is, what is internet? Do you explain what an internet is? 2. Define the term network. 3. Give 5 examples of computer network. So we made mention of some examples or types of computer networks. We made mention of the local area network, the wide area network, and so on. Then 4. You explain the term wired network or a cable network. That's all for today. Stay safe. For next week, we'll be looking at facilities on the internet. So you prepare well for next week's lesson. That is facilities on the internet.